S.S.S. Vayeitzei, Tavshin Pei Dalet. Good to be back at our home base, Bika Cholim of Lakewood, world headquarters. The Pasuk says in this week's Parsha, we're speaking about Yaakov Avinu. Yaakov Avinu comes and he sees when he comes to Lavan's house, when he comes to Lavan's town, Yaakov Avinu sees Vayar v'hinei be'er basodeh, that there is a well in the field. V'hinei sham shloisha edrei tzoin roivtzim oleha. Sees 3 flocks of sheep. Ki min ha'be'er hahi yashku ha'adorim. From that be'er, from that well would feed, and all the sheep and the flocks of sheep would come to drink from that well. But there was a problem. V'ha'even gedolah pi ha'be'er. We all know that there was a huge boulder, huge stone on top of the well, and the well needed to be opened where the flocks of sheep could drink water from the well. So the Medrash Rabbah suggests a few different ideas about what this Be'er Hahi might be referring to. Pashut Pshat, we know, Pashut Pshat, that it was a well. There was a well with water and it was being blocked. But the Medrash speaks about different hidden things, different hidden lessons that could be learned from what is this Be'er Hahi, this well that was in the field full of water that could not be reached at this point. And any of you that have learned with us for the past 14 years knows that if it's one theme about the Nesivos Shalom, one theme that the Nesivos Shalom always tells us when we learn a parsha is that every part of the Torah is here to teach us, you, to teach me, to teach us in our generation. It's not a history lesson. It's not a storybook. It's coming to teach us. Every little thing is coming to teach us a vital lesson that we could learn something from it, to teach us a way of life. And understanding that premise of the Nesivos Shalom, we can say that what Yaakov Avinu was seeing, Yaakov Avinu saw this well in the field. Nesivos Shalom says we could explain something very beautiful. And when you see the way the Nesivos Shalom opens up our eyes to a different way, different path to approach a parsha, not to just look at the surface and what the words say, but to look a little further to find a lesson that we could learn. What is this Be'er Basodeh? Says in the Nesivos Shalom that we have to know that Olam Hazeh, when we say V'hinei Be'er Basodeh, that there was a big field and there was a well in the middle of the field, it says Olam Hazeh, the world that we live in, is an open, vast field. It's open, and everybody that is born to this world, everyone that lives on this world, you have an opportunity. You have an opportunity to plant, to grow, and to harvest beautiful, delicious fruit. That's what we do in this world. We come here, and there are things in front of us, and we're supposed to do the right things with it. We're supposed to produce delicious fruit from these fields. Yet we know that in order to produce good fruit, in order to do positive things when you work the land, a person needs to control the thorns, the weeds, the shrubs, the things that get in the way and interrupt that process. We have to control that too. And Nesivos Shalom tells us that Olam Hazeh is the same way. We can accomplish so much. Every person, you put your mind to it, you put yourself to it, every person can accomplish so much and reach very, very high madrigas in Torah, in midos, derech eretz. A person can do so much. Yet, as we are all well aware, there are so many distractions of gashmias that can get in the way. It gets in our way of how we want to grow in Torah and Ruchnias. And when Hashem sends an neshama to this world of Gashmias, this world of Olam Hazeh, and all its distractions, Hashem does us a big favor, says in Nesivos Shalom, and that's what our pasuk is telling us. Hashem prepares for us a be'er. He prepares for us a place of nourishment for the neshama here in Olam Hazeh. So many things that go on around us, full of Gashmi, so many things that distract us, that knock us off the road from how we should and we want to grow in Ruchnias. So Hashem prepares for us a place that we can go to, a place that your neshama can reach for, a be'er basadeh, a place to take in kedusha and to nourish the neshama, which is the only nutrients that the neshama knows is something of ruchnias. Hashem prepares for us something to nourish the neshama of each person. And every person needs to seek out and attach ourselves to those places, connect your neshama to those places where you can grow. And says in Nesivos Shalom, the number one well that we could go to, the number one place for that nourishment to sustain our neshama that comes from above, the number one thing that our neshama wants is to gain and to get from Shabbos Kodesh. As the Zohar in Chelik Beis Peiches tells us, and we've mentioned the Zohar a few times, the Zohar tells us that all the brachas in this world, any bracha you could have, any bracha that comes from the Shabbos Kodesh. And I'm going to read you the lashon of the Zohar and the brilliant way the Nesivos Shalom translates this Zohar. The Zohar tells us, Kol birchain dila'ela visata, all the brachas of above and below, biyoyma shavi'ah talyon. They all have their roots, they all come from Yom Shavi'ah, which is Shabbos. Now the Pashut Pshat in this Zohar means that the brachas of above, in the world above, and the brachas of the world below, everything stems and everything comes from Shabbos Kodesh. You want bracha in your life? Know where it begins. It begins with the Shabbos. It says in the Nesivos Shalom beautifully that what this is telling us of Eloin and Tita, above and below, he's saying that Shabbos Kodesh is here for everyone. It's here for every type of person. It's here for a person who is Dila'ela, a person who is very accomplished, who's a big tzaddik already, a person who is a great person. And it's also there, the birchon, the sata, for people that are not there yet, people who are a little bit lower, people who are struggling, regular people like all of us who struggle at times with different things. We're not on the best madrega every second. So the bircha, this sata of a person that's a little bit lower, that Shabbos Kodesh is there for Le'ela and Ula Sata, that everyone, every person can grow and get nourishment and life from the Shabbos Kodesh. And our pasuk in our parsha tells us, Ki min ha-be'er hahi yashku hu-adorim. From that well, hu-adorim is a general statement. Doesn't say that only one type of person can take out from that well. Hu-adorim, everybody, the whole flock, every type of person in Klal Yisrael, wherever you might be holding, whatever your stage you're in right now, whether you've reached time madregas, you haven't, you're struggling, you're slipping, whatever it is, Yashku Hu-adorim, everyone in the flock can gain from Shabbos Kodesh, from those on the highest Madrega to those who are not there yet. And if you grab on to the Shabbos, you can pursue your tachlis in this world. It helps you grow. It helps you stay connected. Shabbos is like the familiar pasuk in Mishlei. Everybody knows this pasuk. You say it, you sing it Friday night. V'chagor nosna laknani. We say it in Eishes Chayil. Pasuk in Mishlei. V'chagor nosna laknani. A chagor is like one. Picture someone who's drowning, and chagor is like you're throwing a lifeline. But chagor nosna laknani, a person may be acting like a knani. He's not acting like a Jew right now. He's not doing everything the way he's supposed to. He might be doing Maaseh Kenan. He's not acting the way he should. But we have a chagor, a rope, a lifeline to pull you up and out. You know what that is? We sing it on Friday night. There's a reason we sing it on Friday night too. V'chagor nosna laknani, that lifeline of Shabbos Kodesh, we're throwing each person a lifeline that they can grab onto every week. And we sing it every Leil Shabbos in the Eishes Chayil. The Pasuk says further in our Pasuk, and this is a very important lesson, very negayah to everybody, it's something everybody should know. We explained the beginning of the Pasuk, but the end of the Pasuk says, V'ho'even hagedoyla al pi habe'er. There was a well, but there's a huge stone covering the well. The Gemara, the Masechta Sukkah, Daf Nun Beis Amud Aleph, tells us that Even is one of the 7 names that the Yetzer Hara is called. Yetzer Hara is called 7 different ways, 7 different names. Even, a stone, the pasuk in Yecheskel, V'asiroi es leiv ha'even mibsarchem, that Even is one of the ways that the Yetzer Hara is called. It says in the Nesivos Shalom that we just discussed that this be'er, this water, this be'er that we can go to, that every person can reach for, is the Shabbos Kodesh. And you know what's on top of that well? The Yetzer Hara. The Even Gedoyla al pi habe'er. The Yetzer Hara knows what Shabbos can do for every person. So do you ever notice that when it comes to the Shabbos, no matter what time Shabbos is, no matter what time Shabbos comes in, we're always running, you struggle unless you work to be ready for Shabbos early. The Yetzer Hara knows what Shabbos could do for you, and he's going to do everything to distract you and make you not be Makabel Shabbos the way you should. Because you can get so much from that well, because you can get so much from Shabbos Kodesh, the one thing the Yetzer Hara doesn't want you to connect to is Shabbos. More than any other Averos and Taivas, the Yetzer Hara wants to keep you, to cut off that lifeline, that well, that Chagor, Nosna Laknani. The Yetzer Hara wants to separate you and keep you from keeping Shabbos the right way. And he knows that whatever you've done during the week, a person is able to revive themselves and recharge from the Shabbos. The Eitzah is, says in the Nesivos Shalom, the Nesivos Shama Kol Ho'adorim V'Golalu Es Even Al Pi HaBe'er. That everyone, that this Even, you need every person, you see the Yetzer Hara, you need to gather all the troops, every power that you have. You muster up all your strength to remove this Even. We see from here, we have to learn, take the lesson of this week, of what Shabbos is to each person. And now we have to get past the Yetzer Hara. And now we have to go to that well. It's a lifeline that's thrown to us. Whatever you may have been during the week, you're able to go and take out of the Shabbos Kodesh.